so much quantity of each thing. And this is, by the way, a dietitian who is considered as the leading dietitian because of celebrity clients, who is considered, who has written books, who is on TV shows and everything. Today, I consider, since I'm an educator and I need to educate people, I think the biggest thing that I need to do to improve my education towards people is to focus on PR, which is why now I have a PR firm on retainer. And I spend money on that because people view things differently if they see you on TV and they see you on newspaper. It's not about what you talk. And since I know I'm talking the truth, I also want to take advantage of that, so it becomes easier. There are a lot of things that are considered by people as this person must be talking the truth. So let's assume what are those things. Actually, you happened to mention to me that पिछले 8 महीनों से मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ आपको मिलने की. Now, basically, if he's been waiting for 8 months to meet me, shouldn't there be frustration and anger? Or shouldn't those words be spoken like 8 महीने से ट्राई कर रहा हूँ आपको मिलने का? No, but it is said with a smile. Correct? It is 8 महीने लग गए. अगर मैं 8 घंटे में मिल जाता उसको, तो he would treat me like an idiot. 8 महीने रुका है उसको मैंने. Now it was not even intentional. I don't know how it happened. There is no 8-month waiting period for me. The other, okay, and the caller said to me, I need an appointment with the dietitian. Sure. And you have made the call right now on the 6th of December. So she says, sure, I am putting you down for July the 27th. So July 27th, I want to meet her next week if possible. No, how next week? Not possible. The earliest I can put you down is July 27th. I'm not. Do you want me to put the appointment? She says, yes, put the appointment. Then you start talking to other people. I want the appointment in July. And that again makes you assume that the person knows top notch. But do this. And you will find that the person who's gotten an appointment in December for July gets a call 1 week later. There's a cancellation. Do you want me to fit you in? And then you say, yes, right there. And you land up there. Now, after so much, and you're so feeling lucky that you landed there, and you take the paper. And the paper has got everything that you already eat. It is just put in a structure. It is just put in a table. So I had to take that paper and show that girl and say, number 1, you used to have this before? Yes. Number 2, have this before? Yes. The only thing that she did not have before, which was put, was 3 egg whites. Supposedly for protein, which is 9 grams. A sedentary person, just for existence, needs about 60 grams of first class protein. This woman is a non-vegetarian, a meat eater, and the only source of protein in her diet is 3 egg whites. Only for decoration. You see, protein. If I ask the dietitian, where is the protein? She says, dal, sprouts. So what about educating? See, dal and sprouts. Who, before going to a dietitian, did not know that dal and sprouts also had protein? Everybody. In fact, it's a dietitian that should educate you that that protein cannot be readily usable by the body. It is not bioavailable. It is incomplete. Protein synthesis cannot happen with it. You need first-class proteins. Very early on in the seminar, let me give you an example of how science can twist and how science, industry, everything is formulated together. So now, let's get back to this particular thing. Put it on. Carbohydrates. Adequate carbohydrates protect protein from being used for energy and thus spare protein for repair and growth of muscles and other body tissues. These are my words. And that is why you saw me at 111 kilos while working out. Muscle growth, protein sparing effect. Yes, protein can give energy, but protein is supposed to be reserved only for tissue repair. Do not restrict carbohydrates, because if you restrict carbohydrates, protein will be used for energy, and thus you will not have protein left for tissue repair. This is my teachings. And today, I spare protein with protein. So as an example, if I would take 200 grams of carbohydrates to spare 200 grams of protein, I would remove the 200 grams of carbohydrates, take 400 grams of protein. Oh, 400 grams of protein. What about your liver? What about your kidney? My God, internal organ damage, stress. What? put things into perspective. Protein is recognized by the body not as a foreign substance. Okay? Protein is recognized by GI tract. Metabolizing of protein is work for the body, and there is a difference between work for the body and stress for the body. Alcohol is not recognized. Alcohol is stress for the body. You see? You can work 16 hours a day if you enjoy your work and there is no stress. You get tired in 4 hours of your work day. You don't feel like getting out of bed to go for your work day if there is stress. Take that to a micro level for every organ, and no organ in your body is ever tired of working 24/7 till the end of your life. But you stress it out with something it doesn't recognize, and that is when the stress causes problems. Protein does not cause stress, it gives work to the organs. And organs are meant for working. When 400 grams of protein, I looked with suspicion, I'm wondering why are people scared of sugar? 200 grams of sugar. When sugar, by the way, there's not one single clinically reported death due to overconsumption of protein. There is not one single incident, an ER room emergency or hospitalization or, right? There is a hospital around Santa Cruz only called as RG Stone. RG Stone is a specialist hospital dealing with kidney stones. Okay? And again, इसको टाइम है, मगर अगर आपको आर्ग्यू करना है तो आप टाइम भी निकालो and find out. एक रजिस्टर लेके जाओ, start taking dietary calls of all the patients of RG Stone. तो जितने भी स्टोन वाले लोग हैं, they will all be deficient in protein, not taking excess protein. You will not find a single person out there in RG Stone, probably because everyone consider having a protein shake. At the same time, who has protein shakes more than anybody else? Bodybuilders. Right? So then do a research for bodybuilders. How many bodybuilders who are the true, actual, huge consumers of protein powders, how many bodybuilders have kidney stones? And if at least 1 out of 10 should have, it should be something how bodybuilders with kidney stones होता है. कहाँ है kidney stones? जहाँ पे stones भर के पड़े हैं in RG Stone with every person patient, वहाँ पे कोई प्रोटीन को हाथ नहीं लगा रहा है. जहाँ पे प्रोटीन को भर के ले रहे हैं, वहाँ पे stones नहीं है. तो भी you make a correlation. These are concepts that are floating around. You see, there is something called as normal food. So let's assume that I tell people that I don't eat carbohydrates. So I go to somebody and say, chapati nahi, I don't eat. Rice, yeah. Okay, आज तो मेरे लिए normal खाओ यार. Normal? What is normal? The normal is what is made. Okay, what we consider normal and abnormal is also to be understood. First, artificial and natural. Cultivation as a man-made process started after 2 million years. There was no cultivation because we did not want to hunt and gather anymore, and we wanted to create food. That is why humans with that evolved brain of ours created cultivation. We actually made grains. It is as man-made as this plastic chair. It is not a creation of only, of course, to synthesize anything you need to use elements of nature. Then comes the day and age of GMO, genetic modified. So genetically modified. All the wheat that we're eating right now is genetically modified. And that genetic modification has created problems as IBS. Anybody here where the doctor has said irritable bowel syndrome? That you have irritable bowel syndrome. So here's the whole thing. Basically the doctor doesn't know what's wrong with you. Okay? So he says that the bowel is irritated. And what is causing the irritation? Why did it get irritated? You have loose motions, a medication will be given to stop the loose motions. You have belching, something will be given for belching. You have a reflux, something will be given for reflux. A proton pump inhibitor will be given. A promotility drug will be given. I've had those with me for years. Doctors are only treating symptoms and they're not healing anybody. Nobody who's been diagnosed with IBS for the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years has ever been, okay, you have IBS, now you don't have IBS. ऐसा कभी हुआ ही नहीं. और ऐसे आपके साथ भी नहीं होगा for the next 20 years. For the next 20 years also, you will keep on saying that I have IBS, I have IBS. How many of y'all can eat a nice big heavy meal and sleep the very next moment? How many of y'all? Extreme rarity.
Immediately. And I can't without it.
Do you know that this is an extreme rarity? and that this is how nature intended man to be. You are advised to not eat for 2 hours after your last meal. You are advised to eat 2 hours before your bedtime. First, we create a problem, and everybody has this heartburn, and everybody gets uncomfortable when they become horizontal. So first we create that problem, then we say we will not solve that problem, just stay upright for 2 hours after eating. Not solve it. In my talks, again coming, carbohydrates are also stored in the body as glycogen in the liver and muscle to supply energy when required. Glycogen is not a stored form of carbohydrates. Glycogen is a stored form of blood glucose. And blood glucose can easily be made from protein through a term called gluconeogenesis. After we started eating carbohydrates 10,000 years ago, we created a term called as gluconeogenesis in science. New source being used for sugar. Actually, it wasn't new source. Before cultivation, the body did gluconeogenesis. And we screwed up. Then, it is the main energy source during high intensity exercise such as weightlifting and sprinting. A brief talk on performance and diet will tell you that fat is the main energy giver. I spoke about Tim Noakes, Dr. Tim Noakes. So he is the man who's putting every endurance athlete today, especially the ultra endurance ones, 90 kilometers, he's putting them on high fat diets. He's removing carbohydrates, something that was unthinkable. People had accepted the notion that yes, if you remove carbohydrates, you'll lose fat. But if I have to run 42 kilometers, how do I remove carbohydrates? So people accepted that fat loss ke liye lack of carbohydrates theek hai. Tim Noakes is actually getting better performance from athletes, devoid of carbohydrates. Any tennis fans here? Djokovic?
Yes.
Okay.
He's improved his performance.
So he improved what? Improved his Achilles heel, so to speak. Djokovic was known for, that's how you heard Djokovic on court. The moment you pass 2 sets, your Djokovic fan would say, Khalas, abhi Djokovic nahi jeetega, 2 sets ho gaya. Abhi khalas. Now, today he is known as the 5-setter. He can just keep lasting out. So a man who was at the top echelons of the sport already an elite athlete, had a weakness, and that weakness was his endurance. And today that weakness has become a strength, not because he's jogging more, but because of a huge change in his diet and complete absence of gluten. So first even gluten-free. Gluten-free is, gluten is a protein in wheat. So first even gluten-free is all wheat products and grains were removed. And today he's ketogenic. And the best performances. Fat is your friend. Fat is the great energy source provider, including because of the fact that it's calorically dense, 9 kilocalories per gram. And what we consider what? Main energy source. We consider it. I used to consider it. Let me take ownership of this fact. Every single person in nutrition who was a teacher, first and foremost needs to apologize to you that we were the ones who put you on the wrong track.
But these are still given as manuals.
Yes, and my manual is still given with an addendum that this is a wrong thing. And I am in the process of rewriting my manual. And in the new K11 manual, there will only be one function of carbohydrates, and this is not just to make you giggle or laugh, I'm actually going to do it. Okay, there's only going to be one function of carbohydrates. And that function is a very important function though. Entertainment, celebration, nothing else. The reason for carbohydrates in your diet will be the same as the reason for popcorn at a movie. Why do you have popcorn at a movie? Does it improve your focus too much? why do you have popcorn? Why is popcorn sold in a movie?
It's the best option.
It just makes it more enjoyable.
Then yes.
So it's entertainment. I also want to tell you one thing, that if you eat popcorn at a movie, most aware people know that they're doing something wrong, but then you're doing it from the right purpose. Tell you today I want to enjoy. So you're having popcorn. Okay, I will respect you for that. The people I feel who are making the biggest mistake are the people who have oats in the morning for breakfast. Why do I consider that as the biggest mistake? Because first of all, you must understand that a life devoid of carbohydrates, is a source of carbohydrates, right? Life devoid of carbohydrates has got incredible health benefits. It makes you perform better. Right now I'm devoid of carbohydrates for a year. You understand? The preferred source of fuel. What are you sleeping, having lack of energy? I can go on. Because I'm a fat adapted animal. I use fat for energy. That is why I can go on. My level of alertness is at another level. And I'm enjoying that, and that's giving me the willpower to stay away from it, even if I don't get tempted also. Knowing the truth will give you willpower. And why is eating oats in the morning such a bad idea? Because eating oats in the morning means that you're using carbs when you should be using fat for energy. So once I say carbohydrates is useless, oats does not even serve that one purpose of entertainment. It's like bhusa, sawdust. There should be quid pro quo, there should be some kind of give and take. If you're torturing your taste buds and you're torturing yourself to have oats, there should be some benefit out of it. And there is none. Then they say the benefit is fiber. First remove fiber from foods and then add fiber. Right? First of all, fiber is not even required from grains. Fiber can come beautifully from vegetables. In fact, vegetables, once you eat vegetables and you remove the grains, you will be higher